let me just set a timer, because you know me, I love talking. Boom.
I think you like doing music.
Are you setting up for 6
True. So I'm setting it for 40 minutes. All right, no. All right. First of all, I'm thankful that I get to come and talk to you. I've done it twice now, and I enjoy it a lot, and you're a great group of kids. I know you have been talking about the attributes of God. I sneak peeked at the list that you've been going through, so I'm hoping you might remember that you talked about the goodness of God and many others, His love. But today, as Mrs. Ehrlich said, I'm here to talk about the justice and the righteousness of God, which is a huge topic, if I may be honest, right? So I was just curious if really quickly I could bring out another thing, and it's the simplicity of God. This is a very interesting thing, because when we think of simple, maybe we mean like 1 + 1 = 2. That's a simple math problem, right? Or maybe we mean something that's easy to understand, but that is not at all what I mean when I say the simplicity of God, okay? Because God is not simple in any way, shape, or form. He's so much bigger than your imagination or my imagination can possibly understand. But what I mean, and please put this in your brain, what I mean when I say the simplicity of God is that He's not many different things separately. So God doesn't put on His justice hat. He doesn't then later put on His goodness hat, and then later He's like, all right, I'm going to be holy, now I'll be kind. He is all of those things at the same time. And it is because it's who He is, okay? He doesn't just decide, I will do nice things, I will do judgment things. All of this is wrapped up in who God is, okay? So, I'll talk about simplicity more a little bit in just a minute. But, I have a question for you all. What do you think justice is, okay? We only have time for like 3 possible answers. Raise your hand if you think you could say what justice is. Yes, ma'am?
Fair.
Fair is a very good synonym for the word justice. We think of that a lot. Good answer. Yes, Grace?
No, I think justice is something that you know, it could be justice could be like in a court where you have to make things right, or it could be just this is how others like you do justice and how others like you do justice and how we need to be good stewards of the world. I was watching this arguably obviously.
Right. You bring up good points, and actually it's making me think, what do you think the dictionary says about justice? Okay, so it says it's just behavior or treatment, like a concern for justice or peace or fairness or respect. Also, it's the quality of being reasonable and fair. And also it might mean that you are helping enforce good rules and laws. Okay, so it's all those things. But may I tell you that the Bible says, yes, it is those things, but it also is so much more, because it is a characteristic of God, and it flows from God. So, of course, it's more than the dictionary says. Okay? So, right before that, I'm going to try to tell you a very quick story about my friend Paul. Okay? So, Paul's a pretty cool guy. Very cool guy. He has a very cool dog named Samson. He also has a sweet car. Like the kind that is a little bit hard to not be envious of, because it's a black Camaro with orange racing stripes. It has a Corvette engine in it. It's crazy fast. It also has orange lights on the inside that go around the doors and the dash. Really cool car, okay? I've sat in it one time and driven it one time, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. Okay, so I gotta tell you, he was shopping in Meijer, okay? He had to get his groceries. He had to, I think he was picking out a tent or something to go camping. And then he's, as we all do in Costco and Meijer, we met a lot of people from church. So he was in there for a while. He parked his car a ways out, like people do when they don't want their car to get all scratched, right? And he comes out, and he's like pretty sure he knows where he left his car. He gets out there, and no car. Now, maybe you're thinking what I'm thinking. Sometimes you forget where you parked your car, right? So he goes, he's like, I'll try this again. He's pushing his shopping cart. A little embarrassing because people start to think you're losing your mind, right? And he can't find his car anywhere. So he has to call the police and do a report of a stolen car. The sweetest, fastest car stolen. So he calls me a little later after the police have already come and taken the report, and he's a little bummed. Well, a lot bummed. He's mad, he's sad, he's angry. I'm driving him home, and I'm like, okay, I gotta try to make this guy feel better. I'm saying, all right, I know that they're going to get your car back, and they're going to find the people who did this, and justice will be done. I want justice to be done because I want to drive the car again. So, while we're driving back to his house, he gets a call, and they say, Mr. Sanchez, we found your car, but it was stolen by two college guys who wanted to drive super fast. They were driving way too fast. They spun off of the freeway, hit a bunch of trees. Literally, like every panel of the car is either broken, scratched, or dented. In fact, to the point where to fix the car would cost so much money that it's not worth it. So just haul the car to the junkyard. I don't know, to be recycled. What do you do with a glorious but ruined car? So the people who sold the car were not hurt badly. They're taken to jail. We're going to decide what's happening at a court hearing, right? So a few weeks pass. I'm like, hey, Paul, what happened with your car? And he's not happy about it. Like, I'm sure that the judge said, like, these guys are horrible scoundrels. Like, away with them. That's what I figured would happen. Well, no, the judge actually was, that morning, he was like, you know, I want to be really nice today. I'm feeling like it's one of those days where I'm just going to treat everybody really kindly. And so he talks to, here's the whole case, here's what happened, saw the pictures of the car, saw the report that the police wrote, and the people who stole it, we were not even sorry, okay? Not sorry that they did that. And so everybody's just expecting that they're going to be like, boom, go to jail. But here's what he says, you know what? Paul, Mr. Sanchez, I noticed you've had this car for several years. You've gotten to enjoy it. And also, I see that these thieves, they got pretty good grades in school this semester. And so here, I've got a plan. Here's my plan. Why don't we just simply let it go? Let's not worry about this, okay? In fact, I instruct you to pretend that it never happened. He's being nice, right? He's being nice to those thieves and saying, let's just let bygones be bygones. Do you guys think there's a problem with this? A problem for who?
For Paul.
For Paul. Are the thieves thinking, yeah, this is pretty nice? They got off scot-free, right? Okay. Well, this story is a little bit about Paul, but it's mostly about that judge, because he was not a good judge. Even though he was kind to some people in the story, especially if you love nice cars, you would say he was not a good judge. Okay? So, why was he a bad judge? That's what we need to quickly get to the point of. Why was he a bad judge? Somebody who has an answer. Yes? Say that one more time, I'm sorry. Right, what's Paul going to drive now, right? He doesn't have another, yeah. Okay, yes. No punishment, right? That's a problem. Yes, okay, so onward. It isn't right to just overlook that somebody broke the law, right? Especially when your job as a judge is to make proper judgments about how to apply the law to a society. He was not a good judge. Okay, thankfully there are some good judges, probably many good judges. He wasn't one of them. But here comes the good news. This is what this is all really about. There is a perfect judge. I think you all know the answer to who this is, but share it with me. Who is the perfect judge?
God.
Our God is the
And
perfect
Jesus,
judge.
our Father.
He is the perfect judge. And I would say, how do we know that? Well, one very good reason. He himself says he's the perfect judge in Scripture. Okay, so Isaiah 45. I, the Lord, speak the truth. I declare what is right. Psalm chapter 7, verse 11. God is a righteous judge, a God who has indignation every day. Indignation. That doesn't sound nice. Romans 2:5. Paul writes, but because of your hard and unrepentant heart, you are storing up punishment for yourself on the day of wrath when God's righteous judgment will be revealed. Okay? There's many more scriptures that say things just like that. But I want to do a quick survey. Garden of Eden. People sinned against God, chose the serpent instead of God, obeyed the devil instead of the Lord. How did it go for them? Punishment, right? Flaming sword, kicked out of the garden. God had to judge sin, right? Another one, the flood, okay? People are doing all this evil. They're killing people. Did the Lord have Noah build an ark and then just use it as a playground for the bad people? No. What happened? Judgment on sin. It has to be, because God is both holy and righteous and powerful. Okay? It's not just that he wishes the world would be good. He has all the power it takes to make the world follow his rule. Right? How about, have you heard of Sodom and Gomorrah? Fireball. Bad people. Sin. Punishment. It is, the Lord has the power to judge as he sees fit. Okay, one more. Israel. The people of Israel. They're always complaining. They bow down to other idols. They take on all of the traits of wicked kingdoms. What does the Lord do? Captivity. Takes them into captivity. They suffer for a long time. They should. They sinned, right? So, know this. In the Bible, there is not one place you can look and look and look and look and look and look. There is not one place where God says, that's all right. Sin's okay. He doesn't say it. He never will. He never has. Okay? So, we can think, oh no! We can think about that. I'll be very quick. We can think about that and feel so relieved, right? Oh, good. We have a good God. He's a good judge. He's keeping this world in perfect order. Is that good news? Yes. Yeah. Oh, what about us? How's the human race doing right now? Has there been like some sin like past 100 years?
Every year.
10 years?
Every day.
1 year?
Every day.
Every day. Okay? So, has God changed? Then is he now being like the judge of Paul, my friend whose car was stolen? Is he saying it's okay that all these people are now sinning? He cannot, because his nature is that he is completely just, completely righteous and holy. And because of that word simplicity we talked about, he can't just turn it on and turn it off. It is everything he is. His mercy is righteous and just and holy mercy. His love is holy and righteous love, right? So, what about us? How does a good God forgive sins?
Punishment.
There has to be punishment. So how did we see God make mercy and justice work at the same time? Yes, ma'am? Jesus. So God has not stopped being righteous. He has not stopped being just. He directed all of the righteousness and the justice to punish his son who was perfect so that we, the sinners, could have mercy. So God never stopped being just to forgive sins. But he surely redirected that justice forward. One quick question and then I'm done. What could that judge have done differently for my friend Paul? Would it have been any different if he said, you know what? I want to be nice to these guys over here. Maybe he's just feeling like he's going to talk to them later and help them make better choices. Would it have been different for Paul if that judge said, in my garage, I have an amazing Camaro Super Sport, not black and red, or black and orange, it's orange with black racing stripes. It's brand new, and you can have it. Would that have been different for my friend Paul? Would that have still been just to Paul, but merciful to the thieves? But guess what? No human judge will ever do that perfectly. But God did. He absolutely is righteous and just all the time. And he's also merciful. Okay? So there's so many more things I could say about it. But thank you for listening. And I'll see you next time. Okay?